What up, Jersey boys? Episode 4, episode 3. I'm not sure. Whatever Shay's timeline is is the alternate Spider-Verse timeline, I guess, to this podcast.
I'm the pig Spider-Man. I haven't seen that, but I just know. I feel like I'm the John Mulaney. No, I just wanted to take a second to apologize to all the Jersey boys listeners and future employers of me for my performance on the first episode, which David refuses to wipe from the internet because he's a dictator. I was in my own home, and while I overserved myself, I wasn't being unsafe, but I was being unbecoming for a man of my stature. So I apologize. So moving forward.
It's all about the content. That's why it's still up. Dictator Dave enjoys the content. So
the Jets won a game.
Until you bribe me with something. I don't know. Whatever.
It'll either be alcohol or jersey card related.
Sold. I will remove it post haste. Wait, no.
It's I'll wait until a piece of glass from a bottle of champagne the Yankees drank, but in a card of I don't even know. Fucking David Wells.
Maybe. It'd be so it's just a slight off-topic thing, but cards are on topic as well. But we're all collectors in sports. We're gonna have to do some episodes about jersey patch cards sometimes because there's some fun ones out there. What would be dope is if you had cards in the future that just has the needle that fucking guys were shooting up their fucking it's gonna have to be fucking 500 point card to fit the fucking needle in there, but or the tube and stuff, but.
Like a shell of one of the greenies that all the Mets were taking in the 86 playoffs. And the key would be to not crack it open and actually take it like you're in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. The 86 Mets could have a variety of different cards, like your 3 or 5 fucking Coke card or something like that. It's just
Hernandez's bloody snot rag from the debut of the 86 World Series.
Yeah. Man, there's a lot of stuff that
endless possibilities.
Look, Fanatics are taking over the card thing in a few years. There you go. We've just given you a bunch of ideas to use for your fucking 16
what would be a great one is massive. From that. Go ahead.
So I was just gonna say the amount of money, and I can't even remember what it was. I know it's a massive amount of money they spent on it, but
I feel weird about it. But we'll talk about that one day on a podcast when we talk about cards mainly. But I feel like it's gonna be weird. But they should get one of the Popeyes chicken boxes from the Red Sox scandal when all those guys were playing video games and eating chicken in the clubhouse during games. Just a little greasy Popeyes bucket, in a card. Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh man, I bought into a break the other day where I told you about this break during text, a card break where it was the triple threads one. So I was hoping to get some patch autos and whatever.
Those have good.
And I bought the Astros because the one that was left, and it was actually cheap. I don't like the Astros, but I was just if I get a fucking Alex Bregman or whatever, it's gonna sell. So
for sure.
They dropped the price on a few days.
Our friend Justin.
Yeah,
he collects cards.
But man, I would have loved to have gotten a trash can card in there or something like that. Just
a buzzer that you can put together. What's that game Operation? You can put it together and it goes right.
That'd
be great. That'd be
the Apple Watch.
Yeah, smash up an Apple Watch and put it in there.
Fucking endless possibilities.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk about cards in another show sometime, but you can see that we enjoy them.
Part of Tom Brady's depressurizer.
Yeah. You could have the fucking. You could actually get the footballs from that game and just write the PSI on the piece of football and put it in the card.
Or parts of his shattered cell phone. That would be good. But I don't really like those cards that have pieces of football in them because they just don't seem that cool to me. Because it's it's not necessarily a game used football. Whereas a jersey, those are usually game used depending on the brand. So Yeah,
I guess that's what I always look on listings because sometimes it'll be this piece of memorabilia is like guaranteed or it's not from a specific game or event. And
yeah,
you'd hope that maybe they could get some football. I guess the game used footballs for big games or whatever. Probably just
like
sold
go to
and
the Hall of Fame and guys throw them into the stands or keep them. And like, I remember an MTV Cribs of some like wide receiver who just had like trash cans full of balls from different games. It's like, what's the point of that? You're not even showing them off. Like, what's the point of this? Cows are dying.
Yeah, reuse, recycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just like think of like the staggering amount of baseballs that are used in a given game, let alone 162, it's just crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, there's some patch autos coming out in the AFL set this week, which will be I'm hoping I get some in my box, but we'll talk about that. Yeah, we're going to do that break privately together, like have a look at the cards and hopefully make some money for myself. But anyway, we're talking Jersey Boys episode 4 after random chat about drug infused cards. We're going to talk about numbers in a little bit. That's what we want to talk about today, a little bit about our favorite numbers on jerseys and stuff like that, because it is a big part of it. There's jerseys that I look at and I'm more inclined to buy. Sometimes the number that a player wears can be the real thing that kicks me over the top. So, but first, there's big news in the and this is kind of adjacent to our enjoyment of sports and the aesthetic of sports and all that stuff. G'day, train. There's big news in the States with NBA news that the Lakers and Clippers for now, home arena, the iconic Staples Center, which has been the name for 22 years, I think, since it opened, is changing to Crypto.com Arena on Christmas Day, isn't it? It's actually very soon.
The Grinch who stole Christmas. The crypto who stole Christmas.
Yeah, the crypto speculator that stole Christmas.
It's not even like a unique brand. It's just the name of what like the new money is. But it's like if crypto, like it's not like we're not completely sure that crypto is gonna like be a thing that lasts. So it's like it'll be really weird if they're stuck with that name.
You're gonna get so many bots after you. They're already after you, and we're just live on a private Zoom right now. But
it's fine. I don't have any money.
Get those guys like, have you?
Hey, cards are like NFTs are basically like cards, and I feel like NFTs started after that card boom of the digital, whatever those are called, the press something.
I still don't know much about them. I gotta look into that.
They don't.
I'm intrigued by
it. Sense. Yeah. It's like a digital card basically, which like Topps and Panini do too. You can buy packs in there for less and you just keep them in your like digital card holder. But like they do that with NFTs now too. But I think people are starting to catch on that it's like this means nothing. It means nothing that I have this file.
Yeah. And it's like it can all be wiped out in one bad like fucking, I don't know, a technical storm thing like the Terminator shit happens, or which are all fucked anyway. But at least if like at least if a bunch of TS 100s or whatever the Terminator is called, sorry, I apologize to any people that I can't. It's T1000. Is that what it is? I don't know. Yeah, anyway,
I honestly,
at least if those things are hunting me down, I could still have my Damian Lillard 9 of 10 jersey patch in my pocket. I can still have it. As I'm being blown to bits, I could be gripping that card and being like, I enjoyed this tangible thing. Yeah.
It's been made very clear on my other podcasts that are on our other podcasts that I do not like the future robot uprising, and I do not understand why we're doing all of this stuff. We're like creating our own demise, but
yeah,
I digress.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Crypto.com Arena. Now, this is like and this is the funny thing about this whole it's not a controversy. It's just it's a name that not a lot of people like, and Staples is an iconic name. But Staples is a brand as well. It's not like we're renaming
brand, I think. So,
yeah, 20 years. Yeah, I still use Staples. We staple shit at work.
I used it for their printer when I was in grad school, but now it's like, what? Why? I actually need computer cleaner, so maybe I'll go there tomorrow, help them out. Yeah. I thought they like declared for bankruptcy or something. Though I thought we talked about this before on a pod.
I don't think so, but maybe, I don't know. That might be why. Yeah, that's probably why they couldn't match the offer from crypto.com. But it's not like they're renaming, Fenway Park or Wrigley Field or
No, you can't do that.
Anfield or anything like that. It's just there's a building that's 23, 22, 23 years old. But it is funny how some names can stick and can become iconic because they're just a name that works. Staples Center sounds very vague. Like Staples could just be a name like, Fenway Park or whatever, or, Oracle Arena in Oakland was similar in the sense of that it became kind of its own thing and you don't even know what Oracle was. Like Staples when I was a kid or a teenager in Australia and we didn't know Staples isn't a brand here. It's an American brand, obviously. Right. So I heard of Staples Center. I didn't know anything about Staples, the brand. I just was like so Staples Center to me, my first knowledge of Staples as a thing or anything was just that center where Kobe and Shaq and soon later on just Kobe and Powell and Co won championships. So it is something that has become, culturally significant in its own way, separate to what the actual business is, the Staples Center stuff. So I think it is something that it bothers people that because you're losing that, but unfortunately that's just when you are named after a business and it's not like a original name like Fenway, that's just going to happen. Naming rights run out. But what sucks is it's something like crypto.com. No, I have a big. You should never have .com on a fucking stadium name or anything like that. It just doesn't work. So aesthetically, I hate it. Just for that, and then the fact it's like, Staples is a business. They're not like any, more innocent than a crypto brand. But crypto just seems like such a weird, niche thing still, and
it feels like the guys who are into crypto aren't into sports too. They're like really into they're like Elon Musk,
Yeah, which that fuckwit, Jesus Christ, just shoot yourself into space, please. And
and it just reminds me a little bit of how the Warriors moved out of Oakland to San Francisco and all the tech bros are there in the lower bowl of that stadium all the time. And it's not even about the sport to them. It's about the status. That's kind of what crypto was like. Also going back to just the name of Staples, it's just a cool name for a Los Angeles thing. It makes you think a little bit makes you think of plastic surgery and it's like LA. It's all glitzy. Yeah. Staples. Or Vince Staples, it just has a celebrity type thing to it, where it's
it just rolled well.
It checking in from Staples, where it's checking in from cryptocurrency.com. Well, it's not even currency, but whatever.
Crypto.com. There was someone that there's been some fun takes on the internet about it. There was someone that said, they'll be saying, announcers will be saying, "Welcome to the Crypt," which seems apt for the aging Lakers roster. So
you're terrible.
And then there's been quite a few people asking about the Crips Bloods. A lot of stuff going out. Which, and I texted that screenshot of that to Andrea. I said, "Oh, this because obviously she's a little bit hungover today, which has been hilarious for me." Still in bed right now at 1:30 in the afternoon. But I sent that screenshot to her and she said, "Oh no, it's easy. They're just going to call it Bripto." So
no, they hate all C's though. So it can't be .bomb.
Yeah, Bripto.bomb. Yeah. So look, there's difficulties for some groups, but they'll make their way around it. But ultimately, it's never gonna catch on. I don't know, Staples and sorry, I was just going to say to immediately bring it back to kind of how our enjoyment of sports and the jerseys and stuff. Staples Center, that name reminds you of seeing Shaq and Kobe in those early 2000s Lakers kits walking down the court. Shaq monstering the size of Kobe, but Kobe's aura matching him in size, really, and all that stuff. So you conjure up those memories when you think of Staples Center. And I can't imagine 20 years down the road us having the same attachment to crypto.com because it is a 20-year deal that they've signed, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have it for 20 years and maybe if they win a couple of chips, but they're certainly not going to this lineup going forward isn't doing too much more. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bummer because Staples is it had that aura of such a cool basketball arena. I mean, and the arena isn't changing or anything, and they're not going to change the floor and change that the lights are off around the floor, which I think is the best thing that Staples does is they make it dark, which we've talked about in previous episodes. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's something we'll get used to all the time. It's how the Giants the San Francisco Giants have, in my opinion, the best stadium in baseball, but it's had like 5 different names since it started. So it's like it'll always Pac Bell to me, and then it was AT&T to me, and now it's Oracle, which is weird. So yeah.
See, my era, I've been to a couple of Giants games up there, and it was when it was AT&T, and I still call it AT&T a lot because it's just what I remember. Oracle works though. Like I said, Oracle Arena for the Warriors was good, and I God knows how long it'll take me to fucking start. I don't even know if I'll ever. I might start saying crypto. That'll just be what I refer to it as. But I feel like
it's begging for a name. So
crypto kind of works, but it's just the .com.
It's not a pretty word. It's just like you said, it's like crypt. It's like that's what it makes you think of.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it will be the crypt, which is kind of cool. It'd be cool if it was like a football stadium called that, which I'm sure cryptocurrency will be the name of some football stadium soon enough. So
yeah,
like that, but we'll see. I mean, we could do a whole episode on terribly named arenas and stadiums.
That might happen. We're going to be looking for content like maybe 10 years down the road. So
the KFC Center.
Yeah, or you can kicking over cans under the table. I could do an episode on what empty beers are under David's desk today.
It's Andrea's fault. She hid beers under your desk just to fool you. That's a great prank. I'm proud of me, Madre, for getting with it. So
yeah, no, she's very, very happy to have been given the day off today because of this. But she's worked pretty hard, so I think they appreciated that she worked hard and she played hard last night. So.
I went to a fundraiser for dogs and cats, a dog and cat shelter last night. Mm-hmm. So my drinking helped fund the center. So I was doing my best. I was helping the dogs and cats through my own alcohol.
Most charity events like that do part of the big fundraiser is the alcohol sales. So really, our bad habits help everyone out. So
how can it be a bad habit if it's doing good?
If it's doing charity, yeah.
I also had wings, so it was like wings and beer for the animals. I'm proud of mine.
So it wasn't a chicken shoulder then?
No, fucking chicken. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't find them very smart.
Well, there's reasons they talk about, the sayings like running around like a headless chook. So anyway, that's
a chicken can live without its head. That should show how stupid it is. Like it can live without its brain. Yeah. I mean, a lot of Americans do that as well. So
yeah.
So, there you go.
I'm in the process of trying to get the Blazers game up in the background, and then so it took me a second to catch on to what you were saying, but I'm with it. I like it.
I'm used to my jokes falling flat. So bad.
No, you just provide some thinkers at times. You make me think, especially when I'm multitasking, which immediately just drops my ability to the critical.
Or just deep thinkers. That's my Leo from Gangs of New York.
Anyway, speaking of, this is something I wanted to bring up before we get into the numbers chat. Just a brief thing on the City kits. We were both disappointed, and I've actually just put the Blazers game on now live. They're down by a point early to Chicago. It's 5-4. It's
what the fuck?
Now it's 8-4. So that's awesome. Lonzo hitting threes. Woo, Blazers. We talked about last week. Just as we'll just update our City Edition thoughts as we go and whatever's hot and whatnot. But we love that Denver had a really cool floor to match their kits, which kind of upped it in our standings. The Blazers are wearing their City kits again tonight, and again, there's no difference in the floor. They don't have a different floor for it, which is disappointing, I think, to both of us. We're both disappointed that they haven't gone with the using the full experience of the 75th anniversary year with, we both had their kits in our top 10. Maybe that's a bias, but we think they're pretty good city kits from the Blazers.
Definitely bias,
but yeah, but man, like you've got the fucking plaid thing, like the Jack Ramsey thing on the kit. Like you could just like do the surround of the floor in that, or have the detail in the key or something like that. Like there's some different things you can do. Use one of the older logos in the middle. Like there's a bunch of shit to do.
The original one that was just like lines and less like intense. It was just like kind of more U shape. Yeah, I love that. I want to get it tattooed at some point because it's just a cool logo. So it would have been cool just to even put that at the center of the floor. I think we did have a court not too many years ago where we threw that back. So maybe they're running out.
Yeah, we do. But you can just run it back.
Yeah. People have a short
mad. Yeah. So. Yeah,
Porzingis almost missed a wide open dunk, which is not good for his future prospects. So.
Dude has not done much since he had, he's kind of had a similar. It's weird, like Kristaps is obviously a far better player overall than Jeremy Lin, but when you look at how his career's gone since, Lin's sanity was wild, and there's a longer period of time with Kristaps in New York, but you think about it, like. We just look back at that time when he was becoming borderline the league unicorn for a bit. A similar time to Giannis, so kind of battling
before Giannis was like the guy, but he just can't stay healthy. And just like Dallas is not a good market to like, especially when they already have Luka. It's like, how are you gonna? He's just he's a step above a role player. He's already shot 6 times in 3 minutes to start the game. So that's interesting. Luka's not playing though. So
okay. So that's
But like it is completely on him that he's the reason Dallas isn't better because he's supposed to be the number 2 guy and he's just not living up to that hype. He's definitely he would be a solid 3, but they have 2 threes there with part away
and he's on big money still, I would assume. I don't know what his contract is, but it's gonna be big.
And like that trade kind of worked out in the Knicks' favor in the long run. And also the uniform matchup is not good in Phoenix, so kind of boring.
Yeah. So city kits are continually, they've dropped now. So I was just watching the Knicks game earlier. There's a fan in the stands wearing their city kit already. Looks good. It's a great one. They're just showing some Steph Curry highlights in the game break for the Blazers game now, and obviously their classic edition kits are still the winners. But we'll get to hottest kits of the week. I'm not going to talk about Steph this week because the motherfucker is so good.
Maybe I will.
I'll leave it to you then. He deserves to be talked about every fucking day at the moment.
He's definitely the MVP right now of the early season. But it's like an 1/8 of the way through, probably. Maybe a little bit more than that, but. Yeah, and we talked about it on an episode. The Warriors are one of 3 teams that got that other special edition uniform, and maybe what I'm talking about later.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we were going to talk a bit about. I brought this up to Shay a few days ago. I was just like, just a topic that we want to talk about a bit more on the journey of this podcast is part of jersey love is then obviously most jerseys you buy have a number on the back occasionally if you buy a Premier League kit without it on the back or whatever. But it is a thing in American sports, especially. I think hockey jerseys you buy without them, but generally if you're buying, I think all of mine apart from I've got a Getzlaff 07 one, like one of those plain ones we're talking about, but it's still it's kind of cool. But beyond that, like if you're buying baseball, I think you can get without them as well. So, but the most popular sports for buying kits are probably NBA and football, and they pretty much automatically always come numbered with a name.
It'd be weird to have one of the a lot of American.
Well, I'm wearing this one right now. Imagine buying an NFL kit without the number on the front. It's just fucking plain.
Yeah. Well, I think what a lot of fans do if they don't want a player is they put their own name on it, or they put I Heart Boobs 69 on the back or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's almost less classy than having no number at all. But yeah, jersey.
Bills fan with just 2 zeros on the back saying "chug a beer" times it's just the 2 kegs or something like that. I don't know. It's just...
They have their own language up there. They're like the White Walkers or the people. They're like the people of the wall. They stopped Canada, but they're actually the wildlings.
Yeah, the Niagara Falls is the wall to the north.
I mean, it honestly is. You almost died there.
That was fine in Niagara. I swam out into the river a little bit ways up from the falls, but it was quite calm up there. It's quite surprising actually. But yeah, dope spot.
Australian man dies after waiting a little too close to the falls. Is what I was expecting after you sent me that photo.
Yeah, I'll put the photo in the blog this week now that it's been brought up. So
when I saw that, oh goddamn Australians, you can't control them.
Nope. Just gotta try and well, I just hope they don't die in your country.
Doing something stupid. A lot of them do. I think like the story of the guy getting his dick bitten by a snake while sitting on a toilet and it rotting. I think he was Australian.
I remember that story, but where
it
the
just
fuck
happened. It sounds like something that would happen in Australia. I'm just saying that. There's no snakes coming through our toilets in Connecticut.
Yeah, well, we're always taught as kids like check the toilet seat before you that's more for spiders, but yeah, lift up the toilet seat, make sure there's nothing, chilling under there, like get a red back on your dick. You don't want that. So
no, you do not. But yeah, this is the title of this episode is going to be I Digress.
Cool. That saves me having to figure out the title. Yes. Anyway, we digress.
We digress.
Numbers. What we want to do at times, we might do draft of numbers at times, but we might just dedicate episodes in the future to a particular number that's iconic, or just one that's we just to talk about best jerseys that have had that number and players and all that stuff. Because just for it straight off the top, one of the numbers that for some reason sticks in my head more than any, and it's not like I'm not a Celtics fan or anything, but number 33 has always been one that's just every time I give out an order at work, like a food order in my day job, and it's like we got table up. Excuse me, beer. We got table numbers. Whenever I hand out number 33, I occasionally, if I know the person, like if I serve someone that's wearing a basketball jersey, I'll just give them their number and say like table Larry Bird. And occasionally they don't get it, and you can tell they're wearing a jersey, but they don't know their basketball history. And occasionally I'll get a chuckle, and it's fun. So that's how kind of my brain works a little bit. The table 23 is obviously Jordan. Yeah. So or if you have 45. Yeah. So just straight off the top, that's just a couple of how my brain thinks with sports numbers a lot. Is it's just always, if I see a number in another way of life, a table number or a receipt number, if it's a number that's I can link to an iconic player, it's often where my brain goes just randomly in the middle of the day. Getting a fucking hot dog from Costco, if it's order number 23, I'll be like, that's cool. Number 12, order number 12, you're going to be thinking of Brady's and Rogers and stuff like that. And dude, Joe Namath doesn't even remember what fucking number he was. God damn.
Yeah, as it should be. I'm trying to think of other famous 33s though. Like it definitely, like Larry Bird is definitely.
Larry Bird's just where I go straight away. Yeah.
I literally can't think, and it's like a good football number too. Like running backs and DBs both have it, so it's a good number to have. But
yeah,
it's definitely a good basketball number, and I know plenty of people have it. I just can't. I'm blanking on anybody else. Like whereas 23, like a lot, like obviously LeBron wore it, which was dumb. Like what? Never understand that. Like why you're trying to be the next Jordan, so you take his number.
It's a cool number, man. Andrea Ward.
Like before that, I don't think it was that cool. I think Jordan made it iconic. And that's like a lot of numbers. Where like my favorite number and on a jersey, I think it's just the most aesthetically pleasing is 18. Love the slim little. Okay. There's not one single. I mean, Joey Gatherall for Notre Dame when I was a little kid wore it. And so I love the Notre Dame jersey of 18. But like, there's no like really famous guy that wore it other than me, of course, when I played.
I can tell you one of my favorite number 18s in sports.
Oh, Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Peyton Manning's a big one.
In retrospect, but
yeah. Well, number 18 for me, like 18 is one of those numbers in like the the Premier League that often you'll have like one of those utility. He's never going to be like your. He's never going to get your number 9s or number 10s or anything because he's not quite that player in the squad. But like Dirk Kuyt for Liverpool for years was number 18, and he was he's got a hat trick against United once. This is like the 6-yard hat trick because I think every goal was like basically 2 yards out. He's just a header and then like one that was dribbling across the line from an assist from Suarez. And so like players like that in the Premier League. And then in AFL we've got Zach Butters in for Port Adelaide at the moment. But he's a great player. And so I immediately, like you said, number 18, I was like, fuck, there's a couple of my favorite players immediately I could think of. So it's amazing what just the mention of a number can throw you back to. And it is aesthetically pleasing. Those 18, I was going to actually bring up 19. It's not my favorite. I'll get to my favorite number in a bit, but 19's one I've always liked as well. One of my favorite players for Port Adelaide when they first started was Donald Dickey. He was number 19. Sadio Mane for Liverpool before he traded up for a bigger number was number 19. And it's just one of those numbers that has often been associated with players that are, Mane became one of the key players, but he was kind of that, he's in that number range of your Dirk Kuyt for a while. And then, like I said, Donald Dickey, I picked number 19 when I was a kid, when I was playing footy because of Donald Dickey. Like it's the number I wore playing footy. So yeah, those late teens numbers are fun ones, I think. 17's a good one as well.
Yeah.
It's just those,
Little Johnny Unitas, like that's classic football. Like when you think like quarterbacks back in the day when football was becoming the powerhouse that it is, you think Johnny Unitas in that 19. It was also cool, like it's the highest number a quarterback could wear. So anytime a quarterback wore it, you're like, this guy thinks he's the shit. I honestly think that. I think like when guys they're like, I want the biggest number. So yeah, I definitely 18 will always be my number. The number one number I like. I think Tomiyasu has it for Arsenal right now, which I think it's a good number for a wingback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. I can't even think of who's at Liverpool. I'm probably blanking at the moment with Liverpool, but I know Alberto Moreno, who was hit and miss as a player, but he was a utility wingback as well.
Yeah, I can't think
he was
of
18, but
basketball players who were 18. Basketball is definitely weird when it comes to the numbers.
Yeah. Well, I'll hit my I go back and forth on favorite numbers, but my favorite number actually as a person, and I love this number, is number 13. I'm a big 13 guy.
That was my second one actually.
Yeah.
My birthday.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I should Friday the 13th, all that stuff. It's just a number that's like, it's supposed to be bad luck. It's just out there. So it's like, yeah, I love 13.
Yeah. And that's, I think, why I've always liked it is because it's not like I've always loved horror movies. So as a kid, Friday the 13th movies were those popular ones that you would watch. One of those famous horror movies that you'd heard of. So the 13 number immediately stuck out to me there. But then the bad luck thing, I was always, because I was never the best player at anything or anything like that. I always thought like I was unlucky. So I was like, I'm gonna wear number 13 if I can. So I think I wore number 19 for a bit, but then I think I asked for 13 a couple of times, but it was already like I couldn't wear it for some reason. But maybe they wouldn't let me but it's always been a favorite number of mine, just for that reason. It's a bad luck number, so it's not everyone's going to take that number. So that's going to be my number. And so I've got I was looking around for a thing that I've got on the wall with number 13, but it's not there. I was going to grab it, but it's not that there's a bunch of athletes that have worn it that I've loved, but it's just a number that whenever someone does take it, I appreciate their efforts on the field a little bit more, because I'm like, you've taken a bold number there, because there's so many athletes that have superstitions that I think would avoid number 13. So when I see someone take number 13, and this is like a thing where it just brings all your jersey love and number love and all that thing into, and how you think about sports, I'm like, that guy, he's a bold, he might not be, they're going to be a little bit out there. I think if you wear a number 13, if you're choosing to wear number 13, it's a character trait, I think. And they're never going to be the best player on the field, I don't think. But
my example goes with everything you're saying, but because it was my First favorite player ever, Dan Marino.
Marino. Yeah, I just realized. So there you go. He was a little bit different.
I liked him because his number was I was like 4 years old. I was like, 13. That's my birthday. Like, I like this guy. I think I knew numbers by that point. I don't know when you learn numbers.
That might be how you found out numbers.
Exactly. I remember like learning multiplications in grade school, and like we had to take a test every week to like pass each number, and like it was hard for me until I got to 7 because it was like that was touchdowns. So it's like you played the football game, you're like 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42.
That was very much the same with AFL. Is like goals are worth 6 points, so the 6 times tables were easy as fuck for me when I was
not good at 6s. Obviously 5s were easy, but then 10 and 11. But I remember if you like aced like all the multiplication tests in like a certain time frame of like the month.
So you guys got timed as well?
You would get a full candy bar. We would just have like you would just have like a test every week. And wherever, like whatever the last one was that you passed, you would go to the next one until you passed that one. So if you got all the way through, I think it was 12, then you got a full candy bar. I did not get a full candy bar. So math has never been my strong suit, but 13 is a great.
Did you get like a half candy bar if you did okay, or?
No, I got nothing in
like a fun size. Oh fuck, that's rough. You got a full candy bar or nothing. There's no fun size about this shit.
It was really how they separated the men from the boys, which is probably a saying you can't say in 2021. But I was a boy, not a man. But at the time, my favorite number back then, other than 13 with Dan Marino, because he was still in the league in that era, was 3. Number 3. Great number. When I was a kid, it was like Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, Joe Montana at Notre Dame. It's like we were talking about all those team numbers, and then 13. They all kind of look alike. With the slim 1, and then a 3 and a 9 and an 8 all kind of look alike. So I like a 3 because it's just a good standalone number. It's my favorite of the single digit numbers for sure.
All right. Well, I'll go because 13 was my favorite growing up, but one that I've grown to like. Not grown to love. I've always loved it as well. It's probably like 1A, 1B, and you can pick which one on the day depending on how I'm feeling. But number 9 has always been
number 9.
Iconic to me.
Who's a famous number 9? Roger Maris.
Oh, are we talking? It depends what sports. I was going to bring up my childhood.
Oh, I know who you're going to go with. I know who your number 9 is.
Fernando Torres.
Yeah. Damn it! I was going to go. His armband proved he was a red.
He was a red. Torres. You never walk alone. It said Torres. We brought the lad from Zone.
Where's the
gets the ball, he scores again.
He sells his ass on Albert Dock. Fernando Torres.
You fucking like.
Carragher's bit on the side.
Southerner cut.
That was so good. He's half. You could not get away with that shit anymore. That's like when I started liking soccer. Is when United did that shit. He's half a boy and half a girl. Torres. Did not do.
Typical United.
Looks just like a transvestite. Torres. He wears a frock. He loves the cock. He sells his ass on Albert Dock. Fernando Torres. Carragher's bit on the side. Yeah.
The fact that you remember that so well is just we do not endorse that messaging, by the way. That's just legitimately a song that was
I am going to say like in like 2008 or 9 when that came out, I did fully endorse it. But we've come a long way. Because I do think that is one of the coolest songs of all time, Soccer Chants. Like the Fernando Torres.
Oh, the actual one.
Yeah. And Nike did a commercial where they're like, that's Saints Go Marching In, right? No, not Saints.
Yeah. It's the ant, like the ant. Is it the Ants Go Marching In? Is that what it is?
Maybe it's that.
Yeah, God, it's not the Saints because the Saints Go Marching In is though when they're saying go marching in. No. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever that song is, they like did like a slow acoustic. It was the lead up to, I think, the 2010 World Cup.
Yeah, he was and his injuries were starting to hit then, but he was a hot property at that time. Like my first pair of like football like soccer boots were the Torres like fluoro green. I think did I give them to you?
I
that in that box of shit that I just handed you when I was leaving? I was like, I do not
red boots.
Okay.
That were
anyway,
way too big.
You tried.
But I know how big of a deal Fernando Torres is, and he did. And number 9 made the song. The words number 9.
Yeah.
Drew Brees.
Yeah, that's a good quarter. I was trying to think of quarterbacks, like, and because there's not too many, but
it does. It is really like hard to think. Or there's Joe Burrow, wears 9. Matt Stafford wears 9.
Yeah,
you just need like it's hard to like come up with them really quick because we're so like desensitized to it.
And I was, when we were planning this podcast, I was going to start doing a list, but I was like, no, I just want to talk about numbers and see what comes to mind, because that's the whole idea of it. Is like, when we do actual episodes and particular numbers, we'll do a bit more and get a list. But I was like, on this one, I was like, what comes to mind when you're talking about it, like free flowing, like, we're at a virtual bar at the moment, without having our phones in front of us. This is the kind of chat we'd have. Cheers. Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, Liverpool champion beer, by the way. I bought like 7 cases. I bought like 7 cases of this shit, like when they got released, and I was like,
there's no way it can still be good.
No, it's fine. It's good.
You would drink turpentine if you could.
Whatever the fuck you had me give me a shot of in that, what was it, Versus in Lincoln? That was
Pernod
turpentine. Well, that was pure.
There's
straight
one
gasoline,
that's worse than it now that's infiltrating the Midwest.
Are you what is wrong with you cunts from the Midwest drinking that all that shit? Is it
Malort?
Is it just from because you're from the Midwest? Or?
Well, it like starts as a joke, and then like because like when I was back this summer or this spring, I was like getting shots of Malort for friend or enemy of the pod, tough to say, Nate. And I just thought I would take how bad it is just so he had to do it. so that's how it started in Chicago, is like a prank drink, but then like it happened so much that they just started liking it.
And you're worried about the robots taking over the world. We're just doing prank drinks now. Like
pour Malort on a robot and see it like get really drunk.
Yeah. Well, there's some numbers that make me want to drink Malort or finance or whatever. But so, before and it's not, numbers. There's no numbers that actually are that bad. But number 9 also for me as an Australian football fan is like, because we don't have names on the back of jerseys, it's just numbers. But one of my favorite players, he kicked the first goal. I've got his signature card back here now, and they bring him back to Card Talk as well. Josh Carr, he kicked the first goal of the grand final that we won in 2004. Great midfielder, just chatty as fuck. Like he was the annoying midfielder that would chat shit to opposition players and get punched in the face, but he would get back up. He would do it to people that are a foot taller than him and still come out winning somehow. But great player, never lost a showdown against the Crows. He was 10-0 against the Crows, which is just to play 10 games against your main in-city rival and never lose one is just unreal. So he was great. And then since then, after he left, and then there was a brief period where someone else, I think Jacob Surgeon wore number 9, but Robbie Gray, who's still an all-time Port Adelaide great, just unreal skills with the football. He's wearing number 9 still at the moment. He started off in number 17, so another number I do enjoy, and then went to number 9. And just number 9 is just a number that 2 of my favorite ever players that played for Port Adelaide have worn, and it's just that's probably helped Torres, and then with Josh Carr, and then going on to Robbie Gray, just 3 of my favorite athletes ever to wear a single number. And then it's to bring it back to a game I'm watching right now. I'm watching the Blazers play terribly. I love Nasir Little, and it helps me almost want to buy it because I'm like, I've got like 3 little. There we go. Fuck yeah. This is why it's good that we put the YouTube up.
Yeah. Except for that first episode.
Yeah. For those listening, the Shay was just showing us his jersey patch card of Nasir Little rookie card. It's a very nice looking card. Red, we talked about in the first or maybe it was on an episode that you remember that red is just a good jersey card color, jersey number, whatever, jersey color, whatever. But yeah, and to see it like number 9, like to see a little, I love him as a player, and like it makes me more inclined to buy his jersey because he wears number 9 as well.
Yeah.
Don't know how long he'll be a Blazer, but at least like I talked about.
He'll be a Blazer for a while. He's not good.
Yeah, I hope so. I do hope so.
Enough yet, I should say.
Yeah.
Didn't Suarez wear number 9 too?
No, he was number 7. That's another one of my favorite numbers. But number 9, if I'm talking single digits, number 9, I do enjoy more than number 7. But it's close. Number 7's a great, iconic number in Liverpool history, and then been a fair few good. It's an iconic number in Port Adelaide history too.
I think it's an iconic number almost everywhere.
Yeah, our recently deceased champion of Port Adelaide, who was literally nicknamed God. He played 392 games for Port Adelaide, Russell Ebert. He just and he was a great bloke as well. Just one of the most fantastic people in just human society to have. He wore number 7, and he wore number 1. Is when you're captain of Port Adelaide, you wear number 1. Captains always wear number 1, which is a cool thing. It's a few football clubs have it, not all do, but certainly a Port Adelaide thing. So he wore number 1 and number 7. So those are 2. But number 9, just for some reason, has always been. It's probably just from my childhood of Josh Carr, and then going into Torres as a young adult, and then Robbie Gray now. Just number 9 is, if I'm going to pick a single digit number that I enjoy the most, it'd have to be number 9. Just, I've grown up with guys like I said, Josh Carr, and then,
I don't love 7. I think it's because like when I was growing up and you're young and it's like you like your guy. So you like Marino. And so John Elway was the other guy that was like big. And all my friends liked Elway and like loved the number 7. So they all like fought over the number 7 jersey when we like would play like rec league baseball or like midget football or whatever. Everybody wanted to be number 7.
Midget football.
That's what it's called.
We watched in Bruges the other night, and it was just like, I don't think they like being called midgets. It's like, okay, dwarf. No, anyway.
In Bruges. Go back and listen to our
Pints and Popcorn episode
about it. I think we got, I think we did good work on that one.
I love that movie. Yeah, we did do a good episode on that one. A lot of.
I will say a number I don't like, which is unfortunate for us, and it's really something I've had to struggle with, is 0. I don't like when guys wear 0.
Yep, I've got a take on 0 that I wasn't.
And I really hate 00 because it's not a number. It's not a number.
I have a Mellow Portland jersey with that on there, and I actually love the jersey just for its uniqueness. But yeah, I wouldn't pick it. It's only because it was Mellow at Portland.
7 for like the longest time, but I don't think we retired Brandon Roy's jersey, but he was 7. So I think Brandon Roy said that Mello could wear 7, and Mello said no.
And I think it was a bit of like, I think it was a bit of like he's starting over from being out of the league for a year. Kind of, there was a weird thing that he was. Maybe I'm just making that up, but I thought I heard something about the number choice in that.
I think that's what he wears for LA as well. Is 00. So.
No, he's wearing number 7 for LA.
Is he? That's
yeah. Yeah, it's super weird for our because it was there. We don't have another number 7 last year or the year before either, did we? Did we have someone wearing number 7 when he first?
It's a sacred number. It's Brandon Roy's number. Yeah,
Brandon Roy was great, man. Like, fuck, we got that couple of years span when we had Greg Oden and Brandon Roy, and both of them knees just disintegrated at like a pace that's kind of like that movie Old. I think I haven't seen it.
I have not seen it, and I kind of refuse.
I saw the trailer and saw people aging in an hour, and I think that's what happened to Brandon Roy and Greg Oden as well.
I almost want to hate watch it, but it's like, who has the time for that kind of thing? I already have to watch the Blazers. So.
Like watching M. Night Shyamalan movies is kind of like watching the Blazers. You keep hoping that they get back to somewhere where you knew they The Sixth Sense was like the Blazers almost getting to the finals when we thought they were going to beat the Warriors a few years ago, maybe. And then I'm trying to make an analogy.
War of the Worlds, which I think he did, right? Or was that? Or did
you're thinking Signs? Signs was great. Like yeah, I enjoyed Signs. The reveal of the the reveal of the alien in the kids
Joaquin
movie.
Phoenix. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
like when Joaquin was making The Rise.
Swing Away.
Yeah. I mean, it is. Yeah, it's kind of lame, like looking back at it, like from a religious standpoint. But yeah, it's okay. And Mel Gibson in it, which is unfortunate. But
yeah. Mel Gibson doesn't have a good relationship with religion, so yeah.
What's interesting about the NBA, just to get back to jerseys, since
thank you.
So,
digress.
I digress about Mel Gibson. There's like 30, like numbers in the 30s are big. in the NBA, which is weird.
Yeah. Okay. So
32
my take
is a big number in the NBA. Like Magic,
yeah.
Shaq, other people.
Other people not named Shaq or Magic because they're clearly not going to be as good.
I know that it's a big number. Like I know, like 34 is the same. Charles Barkley, Shaq, other people. Like these are the numbers that are. But I swear those are like really popular numbers, especially for big guys. Is like those in the 30s, and then like Kevin Durant was 35 before he went to Brooklyn. Is the name of that team.
Yeah, New Jersey, Brooklyn, whatever. Yeah, so you're talking about 30s, but you also mentioned about zero, not loving zero. I can't get crazy about a jersey that's like whether it be 20, 30 in the end, unless it's 10. So 10, I think, is a great number. But then if you go 20 or 30, 40, whatever. So like Steph Curry, if he was wearing like number 32, I'd probably already have his jersey. Or 31 or
30. There you go. Yeah.
But for some reason he's wearing 30. I just can't get behind in the jersey that is like the start of the next, set of 10 kind of thing. It's weird. It's a mental thing clearly for me. Steph, I love Steph. I love him as a player. I love watching him. I think he's one of the greatest players I've watched in my lifetime, just with what he's done for the game. But I can't get behind his jersey number as much as I can others. If he was wearing 32 or 35 or something, I'd probably already have his kit. I have a Kevin Durant jersey from the Warriors days. I probably should have a Steph one instead, but Kevin Durant's number I enjoyed more than Steph's. It's fucking stupid, but yeah. And then number 40. I mean, like the first one that comes to mind is Cody Zeller, so I'm clearly never buying that jersey. Although enjoying what he's doing at the moment for the Blazers, which isn't as much as what our starting center is doing sometimes. So anyway, that's a digression, but we're just sad about the Blazers at the moment. So
digression. Yeah, 30 was Terry Porter wore 30 in Portland. So that's
and he's great too. But then I probably would have. Yeah, but then speaking of numbers, I do it like 22 is a great number for me. I don't know why, but maybe like not that I was alive. Well, I was alive, but I wasn't actually watching basketball then. But Clyde the Glide. But then I love Jimmy Butler in number 22. Like super weird how numbers work. Like number 20, not going to get behind. Number 22, I think it's great. Maybe it's numbers like 11, 22, 33. That does work for me. Like 33, I love. 11 and watching Larry Nance Jr. run around in like the number 11 right now is cool. Was Sabonis number 11 for the Blazers, or am I completely misremembering that? Like Arvydas Sabonis.
I think he was.
Yeah. So I especially with because they're wearing the old school numbers at the moment, they've got the diagonal like slant to them. The number 11 on Nance looks great right now. So that's a great one. Like, yeah, if you're going 11, 22, 33, I'm sure I can't think of any 44s off the top of my head right now, but I'm sure they look great. 55 was Mutombo was 55?
Yeah, 55. Right?
So, yeah. So 55 was great. So, 66, I'm sure you go up those numbers, all of those would be great looking on a jersey. So that to me is an aesthetic I enjoy, but I can't get behind a 2 and a 0 next to each other, a 3 and a 0 next to each other. It's just not that I hate it. It's just it actually does slant my jersey buying decision. I would have preferred a Steph jersey. I bought a Durant jersey. Durant's an all-time great. So it's part of my decision making there. I wanted to have a Durant jersey in my collection, but I should have a Durant, I should have a Steph Warriors jersey first. But because of the number, I think I chose Durant, which is nuts, really. But that's how important the numbers are sometimes to your decision making. And the 30, that's Steph. Yeah, was Dell 30 as well?
Dell was 30, and that's why he
wears. So I understand that. So I understand the reasoning behind it.
30 as well.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Steph wears 30, and Dell was 30. Right. So I understand why he's got the number, but it's just I should buy a Steph jersey at some point, but the 30 is the reason I haven't so far, I think. It's wild. When I think about my decision making, I'm like, that's stupid, but the number makes a difference for me.
On those Golden State kits, the
one I did almost buy was the trolley one.
Yeah,
exactly. I wanted the trolley one I almost bought, and then I missed out on that one, so I'm gonna have to eBay that one at some point. And that might be the one that I add for my Steph collector jersey, but yeah, it's stupid. I don't know if you have the same feelings to me. Like, it's not like I hate it. It doesn't warm me to any buying a jersey with those. Like, if it's a 30 or a 40 or a 20, I just not as hot on it, and it's weird.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of 30 and like other, like it's like a goaltender number in hockey, I would say.
Yeah.
Dominic Hasek, Martin Brodeur. So it's just kind of a boring number. Like, I can't really think
But I
of it.
love number 10. So fucking, I'm done.
Well, that's a great soccer number, obviously. Like I talked on the last episode when Emil Smith Rowe switched over to 10. That was a kit that I had to have. So yeah. Because that's like the biggest number in soccer, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 is close. But I'd say 10 is like, I mean, that's what the grades.
Sometimes it depends on the club, because 7 has been the iconic number at Liverpool because of the player like Kevin Keegan and Kenny Dalglish wore it in the 70s and 80s. So 7's become like the number at Liverpool. But it depends on the club. Sometimes some clubs will just have a number that's like, I'm sure 11 might be iconic, because I think Ryan Giggs wore it at United. Not that I have any affinity for Ryan Giggs whatsoever. He's a but I'm sure that number is big. Who the fuck cares? It's United. But yeah, it's funny. Number 10, I write like you're gonna hate this, but like Mac Jones at the Patriots right now, he's obviously actually led a pretty good little run of games. If it's just going to be completely objective, even if you're looking at it from the outside, it's like, okay, that's impressive. He's a rookie and he's leading a team that you'd think would be sinking into the abyss post Tom Brady, but they're having a little run and he's playing good football and he's wearing number 10 and has made that jersey look really good. And so number 10, I can't get behind a number that ends in 0 apart from number 10.
I like 80.
Okay, so so then we're talking receivers. Yeah, I can get behind. Yeah, I guess, and that may be what it is. It's just, football football's maybe the only other sport that has a positional thing, kind of like soccer does, where there's a tradition behind it. Because the football's taken that away. Have they taken that away to give a little bit more leeway to let players pick numbers because players rule the sport now? Did they take that away last year? Did I hear that, or
what?
I swear there was a change in the rules that players can be like they can be a little bit more flexible with what numbers they pick.
Yeah, they can be like single digits now and stuff. Like they've pretty much like a cornerback couldn't be like number 77.
Yeah, but now they can if it's available.
Yeah.
So that's maybe why 80 does work for me, because you think of it in the terms of
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice, yeah.
Randy Moss did wear 18 for you guys. Or no, did he wear 81?
No, he wore 87. No, he didn't wear it. Fuck, I got a Randy Moss.
But you wore 18.
No, he wore 81. He did wear 81, yeah. Sorry, 87. No, he didn't wear 87. Gronkowski probably. But
that was Gronk. And before, you probably liked him, Ben Coates, the tight end.
I do remember the Coates, yeah.
He's the more light when they had the blue jerseys, which are so much better. I love royal blue so much more than navy blue, and that'll come in to a segment later.
Yeah. 81, 80 I can get behind because receivers. But it would be football specific. Like if it was a basketball player in 80, I'd be like,
81's not a bad hockey number.
Yeah, hockey's
Osa used to wear it for the Blackhawks. So I mean, hockey is a different beast. You're gonna get weird numbers all over the place. So.
Yeah, you still get some like number 8 is another one that I've always like. Steven Gerrard and Teemu Selanne are two of my favorite athletes for different sports, and they both were number 8. So yeah, a bit before my time.
A little bit, but
no, I know. I definitely obviously know who. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I've been dealing with a work snafu this whole time.
Yeah, no, I know that this is the thing that we do with this podcast is we do it in our spare time, but sometimes work for both of us can pop up at the most craziest of times. Well, we can take a quick break and then we can get back to just finishing up with a couple of our segments. We're going to have hottest, coldest kits of the week, and then we've got a new segment coming up too, which is super exciting. So really excited for. I'm really excited for this
about that. But blame. I'm not going to say where it's just best if we never say my last name or where I work. But Blame the guy who was writing about the Oregon football team tonight because it really.
Okay, we'll blame. Okay, go Ducks, but we'll blame him.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick pause from the recording. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Shay's finished up his day job stuff that he was doing at night, and we're good to go.
Yeah, I apologize for that. It was
no, you don't. You do not need to apologize.
Not my choice. But
yeah.
The fans need to read about Oregon.
We do, yeah. We were talking off air. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I read it aloud to you, like a bedtime story tale, but in the morning for you.
It is. It's almost 3 p.m. for me, so it's an afternoon story time.
When do you guys do daylight savings?
No, we're in daylight savings right now.
You already did it.
Yeah.
This is like when we can pod better because, like, well, maybe not. I don't know. I digress.
The name of the pod that we figured out halfway through. We were talking in our break. We started talking about the Miami Heat city editions, which I meant to bring up earlier, but we'll bring up now before we get into our hottest and coldest and a new segment as well. But super dope thing if you're interested in the Miami Heat jerseys is on their actual websites. You have to order from the Miami Heat store. So if you're in Australia, you're gonna have to pay all the expensive shipping and stuff. But worth it, I think, if you do like them. You can pick there's like 6 or 7 different numbers. There's the classic Heat, there's the Vice Knights Heats, there's a championship gold, and a couple of other different numbers. If you're picking a number 22 for Jimmy Butler, for example, and I'll put this on the blog so you can see, I've taken screenshots of how it works. You can pick a different 2. You can either pick the same 2s if you just want it to look clean like that, or you can pick like the championship gold and the Vice Knights, which is what I think I'd go with on it because they're both slanted. I tried. You can see what it'll look like when you show it up, but when you put a slanted number like the championship gold or the Vice Knights next to their classic one, it's like the classic one has a drop shadow and is more straight, and then the championship gold has a slant, so it looks really odd. And then if you want that real ransom note look, it's cool. But yeah. I think I'm happy with 2 different colors slanted. For me, it works all right. But it's really cool that you can do that, and you can look at how it looks. You can mix them up, see how it looks. It's a really cool thing. Miami Heat have been the City Edition winners for years now because they've made I ordered a Vice Knights one a couple of years ago, and the entire Vice Knights section of the website was all still blue. It was like they just made a specific like site for that when they dropped, and everything was just the whole experience of ordering it was dope. And they've made that for this too, and it's really cool what they do. They embrace the fact that people are loving this and get into it. And you asked the question when I texted you about this, about the are the players wearing different number sets? And I was like, my immediate thought was probably not, because I would assume there's some rules about having uniform numbers as far as like not having different number sets. But I looked up some highlights of them recently wearing the City Editions, and there's different number combinations for different players. So they're doing it too for the players. Don't know if the players are choosing them, but they're getting different number sets out in the court, which is cool.
If they are,
if the players are choosing them, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So
that's just so cool. Yeah. Like in definitely Adam Silver's league, the players run the league. So I don't think that we would step in on stuff like that.
Yeah. So. Which can be problematic at times, and it'll be but it's overall it's obviously
Zach Lowe and some other writer were getting mad about the lax dress code. Now he was like Aaron Baines.
Oh my god.
I think he's Australian, right?
Yeah, Baines is Australian, so yeah, no,
he was like wearing like neon green like swim trunks basically and like a hoodie
when he was walking into the stadium.
No, like on the bench.
Oh, on the bench. Who the fuck cares when they're going out on the floor? Like, I like Zach Lowe's podcast and stuff, but I'm surprised that he's like, who the fuck cares what a player like?
They did kind of say like we're being curmudgeonly, so they like
yeah. Which I guess I've heard Zach Lowe is probably the person I've heard the most use the word curmudgeon. He uses that a lot, I feel like. But anyway.
He's an East Coast man.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually love like seeing like the player that fits like walking in and stuff like that. Like that was such a one of those racist rules that the David Stern era brought in for Allen Iverson and co back in the early 2000s. So I'm glad that it's gone back that way. My main thing is like players like sometimes when they demand trades and all that, but then I also do agree that at a certain point teams will trade a player if they're not useful to them, and a player wants to trade away from a team if the team's not useful for them. So it goes both ways. Is what it is.
Yeah, I just think like we were robbed of some great fits in the David Stern era because that's when retro jerseys were really popping.
Mm-hmm.
And athletes were wearing them, so we got denied some really cool retro uniforms.
Yeah, because David Stern was a fucking idiot.
And
Did a lot of good. Did a lot of good for the league, but
yeah, he
wasn't.
I mean, he's honestly a better commissioner than Silver, but it's like, because Silver could have stood up to China, but he didn't.
Would David Stern have stood up to China? Is that a?
I don't know. I don't know if China was as big of a like market for the NBA.
Well, that's what I mean. Like if we put David Stern in the same situation, does he do it? Because I like David Stern probably overlooked a lot of like the Donald Sterling stuff. This is a digression again, and we'll move away from it quickly. But that's just since you brought it up, I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's all commissioners in their times, but I certainly think when you look back on it now, and this is a jersey and a fit thing and a thing, when David Stern did the rule on how players turn up and dress, that was a white man rule, you know. So that was also not a good
David
look.
Stern looks like one of my grandmothers.
We digress.
Moving forward.
Yeah. All right. I give you the choice. Do you want to do the news segment first, or do we do hottest and coldest kits and then finish off on the segment?
I think we should always end on hottest and coldest.
Okay, cool.
Or we could end on the news segment weekly, but
we'll do hottest and coldest just because you're debuting a new segment that I'm actually really excited for. So we'll do hottest and coldest first, and then I'll let you introduce the new segment. So I've just got a couple of hot ones this week.
Yeah, I don't have a cold one.
Actually, the first hot one I've already. That's why I hadn't mentioned it earlier. The first hot one is the Miami Heat ones because I've seen that. I think that's a really cool thing. So we've talked about that already. That was my first hottest kit of the week. That's why I had
the Heat jerseys all year long, probably.
Yeah. So that is my first hottest kit of the week because I'd noticed that stuff today. That's why I hadn't mentioned it earlier. I should have had that note in front of me, but whatever. It's a podcast. That is my first hottest kit of the week. I think that's a dope thing. Like they were already a kit that I was warming on all the time, but then seeing how they've got their website set up for ordering them and being able to customize it a little bit, I think that's super cool. They look cool on the court, and I'm really happy with them. And if you want, that's the first one. And they've got a lot of good players to choose from. If you want to, Bam Adebayo, good number 13 kit to get around if you want to get around a current one. So.
No, is Hero 19?
Heroes? No, he's not. Fuck, I should know this because he's a player I watch Miami Heat games a bit, but number 14.
It's close to 19.
Yeah,
it's just one.
Yeah, Bam's number 13, and that's a good.
I don't like number 14. I'll say it. Sorry, not into it.
The number 14 I do enjoy because Chubby.
That is Obama, and I do like it on Obama.
Yes. Yeah.
I just like it is like a bricky like quarterback number, like a quarterback that's not very good wearing 14.
Well, as a good segue, my other hottest kit of the week is one that I'm wearing. It's not quite the one I'm wearing because this is number.
Bad.
I knew you were going to be so mad at me when I did this. I'm wearing. So this kit, I enjoy this one.
Put it royal blue.
Hey, look, I don't enjoy that too, but this kit's this one when I bought it was actually the Patriots Color Rush. They have moved this. Yeah, they have moved this to being now that their main kit now because I think it was popular. I bought this back in 2018. Yeah, it was 2018. No, it was 2017 actually. When we did our Boston trip, we went to a Patriots game and did Celtics and Bruins as well. But this is an Edelman one. Obviously, it's close. It's close enough. But hottest kit. Mac Jones is, Shay's so mad right now. He's shaking his head. But he's got a Patriots team that he's a rookie quarterback and he's leading them to, he's got them at 6-4 right now in the mix in the AFC, 4 games in a row.
Everyone's
as well as
in the AFC.
But the Patriots have a team probably that wasn't expected to be in the mix with the Buffalo Bills compared to where they were at the start of the year. The Buffalo Bills have some problems and the Patriots are just slowly working their way. And the thing with the Patriots record is they had a close loss against the defending champion Bucks in Brady's return game, which is obviously highly emotional in that sense. And they had a close loss against the Cowboys. They could have very easily be 8-2 if a couple of one of those sliding doors kind of things. I know you hate it because you don't want the Patriots to be 8-2. They could have been. They're 6-4 and going well. And Mac Jones is one of the hottest rookies in the league right now, which I don't think anyone would have expected either. So if you want to get around, not that this is sports card talk, but Mac Jones cards, I know have been going up and up and up every week. And if you want to get on a jersey that might stand you in good stead for the future, our home jersey now, Mac Jones on the back, the number 10, it's a good number, be a good one. Go break some ankles out in the backyard football field.
He'll twist him. He'll twist him, all right. Stupid fucker. I hate that guy so much.
I know, and I was so excited because I almost did it last week, but I was like, no, I'll see if he goes 4 games in a row because I was like, Cleveland might be a big. I thought Cleveland was going to be a better match, like a closer match, and so
I was at New England sports bar for that, not like a Patriot centric bar, but a bar in New England for that game.
Yeah.
So many Pats fans. I do really like the Browns uniforms always.
Browns uniforms are a classic, but they unfortunately are not a hot kid of the week this week.
Okay. My first one is he didn't play that well. I actually don't know anybody on the team that played that well. But Justin Herbert in the Chargers uniform. They did lose, but they looked good doing it. Not necessarily from a talent at football standpoint, but from a strict uniform. The white helmet, light blue jersey, yellow pants, Chargers uniform is my favorite uniform of all time.
Yeah. Keep talking. I can hear you. I'm just trying to get a card right.
Okay. Well, anyway, so going all the way back to Lance Allworth, those uniforms have been some of the coolest in the league. We talk about them weekly. I will always mention them because they are just such a cool, the number underneath the bolt is so cool and so unique. The light blue with the yellow just really pops. And then obviously Justin Herbert is amazing. So
yeah, I agree.
It's really good that they rebranded to wear those all the time when he became the guy. Because that physio popped Tyrod Taylor's lung, maybe on purpose. I don't know. This is why I include my last name on this podcast, and if you ever put it in anything, it'll be.
I crop the Zoom videos to make sure our full names aren't shown. So
that's awesome. That's very good.
I don't think the full names are on the rest.
Too, by the way.
I was in the background there getting this card right here. It's one of my.
There it is, the perfect uniform combo.
Yeah, I was like, if this card had the a white bit of patch in there or something, I wouldn't have ordered it. Having the blue in there and a Justin Herbert rookie phenoms card.
Pretty blue. I actually don't like navy blue very much, except when it comes to Notre Dame, which is another uniform that's on my also draftable, but not going to draft it this week. Is Notre Dame under the lights at Virginia in their away whites is classic. Notre Dame under the lights with gold helmets is always classic. So that's always a win for me as a fan, especially.
Yeah.
Did you have another winner?
I only had the 2 actually this week that really popped for me.
I'll go Steph, who I think is going to be in talks. Well, we're gonna run out of uniforms, but Golden State does have amazing uniforms. But they rocked their San Francisco trolley uniform. They're actually not trolley, but they remind me of the trolley ones. But the old school original Warriors ones that are blue, red, and yellow. I'm wearing primary colors right now. I also love that I just talked shit about Navy and I'm wearing Navy. But Steph went off the whole week. No matter what kit he was wearing, he looked good. But one night they broke out the San Francisco with the San Francisco floor. So Golden State's going to have 3 or 4 different floors this year. And they're just they remain the coolest team in basketball. And there are a ton of Warriors haters, and I don't blame them. I'm a LeBron hater, so people get mad at me for that. I don't get Warriors haters though.
I get mad at you for that. So yeah.
Lame. Pick a number. Stick with it. Why are you wearing 6? 6 is a terrible number too, by the way.
I've got a love hate with 6 because there's been some great AFL. 6 is a big AFL number sometimes. So
I do like Mickey Mantle, but he was not a good person. He was also 7. God damn it. I like Baker Mayfield. He wears 6.
I can't do a Mayfield dance, so I don't know why I did that.
I love Baker. Baker is who we all thought Aaron Rodgers was, I think.
Yeah, and whereas Aaron Rodgers is just a fucking dickhead. So
yeah, I really hope Baker doesn't come out, but like Baker like just talked about like this guy who's on death row who like might be wrongfully convicted, and he like broke down in tears and was like, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't do that shit. He'd talk about how the pyramids were built by Martians or something.
Yeah.
And then not get vexed. But yeah, that was my big win. I didn't have any big losses. I need to start like
I've got one cold kid of the week.
Let's hear it.
The Rams.
Yeah.
Just in general, if you like Rams, get like they've made some. Look, they're all in. And I get
in them.
Yeah, I don't even know what kit they wore this week. I just think Rams kits all across the board are a cold kit because
the bone jerseys, bone colored jerseys, and then blue pants.
Yeah, so the bone colored ones are ones I just would never buy myself. I don't mind that. Like they did a branding change, and it was I'm lukewarm on it. Their blue ones are still fine, but
with those, I'll be here all week.
But you know, performance wise, with some big moves they're making, they've dropped down. They've actually just the 49ers are not a good football team at the moment. They're plucky, but they're not good. And they get smoked. The Rams get smoked by the 49ers, and
they were
just
not
at a time at a time they're going all in and winning a Super Bowl, which is what teams do in their position. They've got to go all in, or they're just going to wait. And
this is like the most I've ever seen an NFL do this, though. NFL team.
It is. I think they showed their hand when they like traded all those picks away to trade up for Jared Goff, and it's like they've just kind of they've got no choice now. I think, but.
I mean,
it is super weird. I mean, OBJ, they got like off waivers, not off waivers, just as a free agent, so that's fine. But yeah, they got the trade for.
That'll go well. I think I texted the group chat that I give it 3 weeks, so now 2 weeks before him and Ramsey are in a full-fledged fist fight during.
Yeah, there's some big personalities on that fucking team. Yeah,
I just like. You have seen
they might turn it around. Like they've got enough talent to do it. It's just it's the dog days of when you talk about dog days of July or whatever. When the middle of the
Rams go slowly down because you're married to a woman from LA. But like I love the Rams. Like that year that they ended up going to the Super Bowl. Like I was really into them. They had the perfect uniforms when they went royal blue, yellow, classic helmets.
I've got a Todd Gurley jersey in the closet.
Those are sick. Those are just like blue and yellow. Like I've on an episode that doesn't exist, I talked about how much yellow is a factor in great uniforms. And that royal blue and yellow popped. And when I played midget football, that was our colors. Mm-hmm. Royal blue and yellow. So forever.
We need to get a photo of you and your kid.
Thing, like it's just like wear white. Like stop like trying to get cute with it. Like it doesn't look as good as white would pop on a field. Mm-hmm. It's like anytime somebody does. Well, I will say the Giants do it well with their like off-white cream uniforms they wear at home. The baseball team, they were kind of like an off-white, almost tannish white.
Yeah,
which really works for them. But like it's like. I feel like
in football, it just seems an odd move. Like baseball has a bit more of a tradition in some jerseys being like different shades of white, essentially.
Yeah.
But football is just white or colored. It's and like I don't hate them.
they could be better.
You would have thought a team from LA doing a rebrand would have just, but who knows? Maybe on the ground there it's received differently. I just don't. It just seemed an odd. Odd
If
move.
they go blue jersey, yellow pants, it's still a good look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think that's still.
And look, if they are winning big winning games, they should win them. It might change the narrative, but they're getting blown out by the 49ers in a game where they've got a chance to really extend themselves and lock in that top seed. And it's just like they have blown the chance the last couple of weeks. So yeah, for me, just between the kit and the fact that their performance level has been woefully disappointing compared to what we expected from them the last couple of weeks. That was just a standout call. So yeah, I was very, very football heavy on my hot and cold this week, but yeah.
Well,
hey, I managed to do it without shitting on Jimmy Lake. So it's a Jimmy Lake who's on Seek.com right now, and no one's sending him offers.
I'll do okay. I'll do one cold thing when it comes to the aesthetics is Eastern Michigan played football last night. And they have a gray field.
Oh god!
You know how teams do like unique fields. It's like gray.
Yeah, like the Boise. Yeah, like the Boise State Smurf turf is at least like, fun. If
Eastern Washington is red, which is
like
watching a game from hell. I don't like Boise's field because like ducks die on it every year because they like fly into it because I think it's water.
Oh really? Is that? I just thought you meant ducks die on it because of
like going back to it. They should call that the crypt. That's where ducks, that's where birds go to die because I think it's water.
Yeah. It's either actual ducks or the Oregon Ducks when LeGarrette Blunt's playing for him. But hey, he got the last laugh or punch. So
they should put a tarp over it when they're not playing.
Yeah, we put like you put tarps over fields and shit all the time, like baseball or whatever. It's just you have just rollers on the end and just roll out a green
literally
tarp.
Roll in field turf at Arizona in Tottenham's new stadium, which they have terrible kids. We'll get to that someday.
Another in Bruges thing. Purgatory, like Tottenham.
It's unfortunately been like liking Arsenal lately, but at least Arsenal has kits that pop. It's like,
well, at least you have like success in that you remember. So. Yeah.
It's like Spurs is so lame that their main color is white.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Like, I mean, who else has a main color of white? I know every team has white jerseys, like in America and stuff, but
yeah, but it's not like your main color.
White.
Yeah, go back to episode 2 and listen to like my draft pick talk about the OKC City jerseys to see what I think about just a jersey that's predominantly white.
Their court is like the Eastern Michigan field too. I don't know if you've seen it. They did wear their city editions, and their court is just all gray. It's just bad.
They're doing Josh Giddey just a terrible service. Because I would like if Josh Giddey had been drafted, like not in an alternate universe where he'd been drafted to the Heat this year, and I'd already have a Josh Giddey Heat City ordered. Like it's just terrible.
Yeah, you just have to hope that like OKC will trade him at this point.
Oh look, they're going all in on rebuilding and whatever. That's fine. It's just
they beat the shit out of the Rockets tonight.
Yeah, well, the Rockets aren't.
Yeah, but I thought I thought they'd be on par with the Rockets. I didn't think the Rockets would be 20 points better than them. But
yeah, OKC are going to they're going to finish on double-digit wins, so that's probably not expected at the start of the year. I don't.
That was the rumor that they would go
9-73.
9-73, yeah, the opposite. Where I think Golden State,
they've got 5 or 6 wins already.
Yeah, they did. They beat the Lakers twice.
Yeah.
I love that.
This sport is stupid sometimes.
Yeah. They're frisky. Young guys. They have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander too, and you never know when he's gonna come out and play. He's gonna have his bad nights because he's still super young. But
yeah. I think before we get into the next segment, the Blazers are back within 4 towards the end of the third quarter. So yeah.
Yes.
Anthony's out there.
Long enough. Something good would happen.
All right.
I'll end the pod and I'll watch the fourth quarter and watch us lose and just be so goddamn angry.
All right. We'll get to our final segment, our new segment, and I'll let you introduce it because it was your idea and I love it. So get into it.
Yeah. Okay. I pitched this idea and David agreed. Unlike him not agreeing to pulling the first episode of this podcast off the internet. But it's just one thing that you would change about a uniform to make it an all-time great uniform. And it could be anything. It could be like, wear a different helmet with this. Don't make your jerseys bone colored. I don't know. It could be anything. And there's going to be something every week where I think we can find this. Mm-hmm. So I think I've explained it well enough. Just one small thing. It could be a little color change, which is what I'm going to go with. And here's how I will pitch the idea fully is I think if the Denver Broncos this weekend, they wore all orange, if they would have just gone their old royal blue helmets and royal blue trim around the numbers, they would have been all-time uniforms. Because they had the old D with the horse in it. And during the Elway years when they had that, it was royal blue. And it's just such it makes that orange pop so much more. Whereas they love the navy blue there because when they made those uniforms when Elway was close to retiring, that was like the biggest shift in uniforms. You're like, whoa, you can have stuff up the side now. And they had a new Bronco and it was just crazy when they did that. But they're latching onto that too much. They started as a royal blue and orange team. And I think that really pops.
Yeah. Yeah, no, as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, not that I was watching football in the 90s or 80s or whatever, obviously in Australia, but I watched enough history.
To the 70s.
Yeah, I've watched enough history stuff with Elway and whatever to as soon as you started mentioning it, I was like, oh yeah, I know where he's going for. And it's just like they're that iconic. So yeah, it would be nice if
when I was a kid before they made that change. And when they made that change, I was like, these are really cool for a season. And then I was like, I kind of miss the really bright stuff that really popped, especially when they're playing the Chiefs, playing a red team, or that orange really pops against a team like Oakland back in the day, but now Las Vegas. So
yeah, it's super annoying. Before I get to mine, that the NFL has really gone away from they don't do much classic jersey. Back in the late Reebok days of the late 2000s, the noughts and the early
AFL throwbacks.
Yeah, the Pat Patriot helmets with the red kits. You can still buy the red kits.
Some of the greatest uniforms of all time.
Yeah,
the red. Oh my
god! I've got a red Patriots T-shirt somewhere in the closet. That's just the Pat Patriot logo on it. When I bought it when I was in Boston because I was like, I just love this. This
whatever
this logo. This logo is fine. I don't it's fine, but Pat Patriot still wins hands down over this.
It strikes me as a sad robot. And I don't like that.
Well, they call it the Flying Elvis, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, it does look like Elvis. Yeah, but yeah.
Pat Patriot's undefeated. Down in the football, the stance and everything like that, the center stance. It's just fuck, man. That's just great. That's an all-time sports logo, in general. And just
I miss yeah, go ahead.
Well, I if they just did these as their main ones, but the I don't know if it's a Nike thing or an NFL thing, they've just gone away from doing the throwback stuff the last 5-10 years. Really, ever since Nike took over the jersey rights, really, they
if you know this, the NFL has a one helmet rule, so you can only have one.
That's right. Yeah, no, I do know about that, but
so that makes.
But I also think Roger Goodell and the NFL is fucking stupid. So
they could learn something from Adam Silver. Let the players.
Yeah, you got one league the fucking Miami Heat can have different number combinations on their kits, and then you've got another league that's just
one
helmets helmets are we're trying to cover up concussions, and by the way, you can only use one design in your helmets. It's fuck, just
it doesn't make any sense, honestly. It's I don't I literally don't understand it. We talked about it either last week or the week before that about how when they do special uniforms, you feel you want to buy them, and you feel you want to cash in on when your team does something cool. And the NFL is nope, no, not doing it. They actually probably do pretty well on throwbacks anyway. though I can't find a throwback Don Maynard, and I might have to get a personally stitched one, which I might do. We'll talk off it about that.
But it would be dope if they did that anyway. Just go.
I wanted to mention, this won't be out by tomorrow anyway, but the Falcons are doing a throwback uniform tomorrow with I don't know how they're doing it with the helmet, the one helmet thing, but they're doing it. They're doing like a throwback to like the 98 Falcons, where they just were, they're not that cool uniforms, but it's just cool that they're throwing back. It's
a throwback, even if it's a simple uniform, is still going to differentiate from what you're doing, and it's cool. I haven't seen what you're talking about yet, but I'll keep an eye out for it now. And look, I'll see if I can get this episode up a bit quicker. It's just takes a bit of time to edit and stuff, but yeah. If you're watching it, if this only gets out afterwards, and just look back to the game that the Patriots and Falcons are playing tomorrow. Friday, Thursday night football for you guys over there. It's a Friday lunchtime football for us here in Australia. So look back to the Patriots Falcons matchup if you want to see what Shay's talking about. So
they should be really cool. So I think it's like when it says one helmet, it can only be one color.
Yeah.
So like the Falcons helmet.
So can they put a different decal on the helmet?
Yeah. So like the Falcons are doing their throwback Falcon, which is like before like it got modernized, which I always like.
Yeah.
Like I liked when logos didn't have to be menacing. Like Pat the Patriot. Like it's just a dipshit.
Hey, that motherfucker still looks kind of menacing. He's just like a normal person rather than like this fucking robot,
Yeah. I don't know. There's like an era where like mascots were just like the Milwaukee Bucks old, like every logo used to be less menacing than it is now. And I feel like our society as a whole has become more like, for the listener, you'll just have to check that out on YouTube.
I guess that's why it's kind of cool. Like when you look at college, it's sometimes there's a lot more the Oregon Duck as a mascot is just like a goofball most of the time. Puddles. And good old Puddles.
But even when they do like the ripoff of the Disney Duck, it's like he's always pissed.
Yeah.
Like just have him having a good time.
Yeah, just sinking a beer at Rennie's or Rennie's lemonade and just man, get me an Oregon. Like Oregon's done 3 million kits already. Get me an Oregon cross Rennie's fucking mix up. Let me have that. I want the Rennie's lemonade. They've done eggshell already, so they've done eggshell. They can get me a Rennie's lemonade kit.
I feel like I would have to work out for a week straight if I had one Rennie's lemonade now. Like just one. God, just so much sugar.
And you can only have, if you have one Rennie's lemonade, you could have 5. So
yeah, no, I'd be ready.
along with a pitcher of beer.
Yeah.
Miss Rennie's.
Shout out Rennie's.
Kind of segue
to live podcast from them.
Yeah, down on the upper deck, went around with one of those surrounded, like the fucking booths up there
with guest Neil Everett.
Yeah. Quack. My addition to a kit. This is I had a bit of fun with this one. I was trying to think of just a fun one to start with. There's definitely change, but I actually think this would be a fun thing for Milwaukee to do at some point. I don't know if they could actually ever.
I like this.
We all know, and I'll put this in the blog if you don't know of it. The next morning after Milwaukee won the championship, and Giannis had dropped a 50 piece on the Suns, he went to McDonald's and asked for a 50 piece. Yeah, what's that?
It was Chick-fil-A.
No, I think he wanted a 50 piece nuggets, didn't he?
He wanted a 50-piece Chick-fil-A nugget. I don't want to promote Chick-fil-A here by any means, but
I thought he just wanted a 50-piece nuggets. Oh, whatever. It's kind of.
Yeah, he said not 49, not 51. He wanted 50 pieces, but it was Chick-fil-A.
Okay, well, whatever he wanted 50 of, they need to. So if I've got it wrong, I apologize because I thought I watched it half. Like I just thought it was 50 piece. I thought it was nuggets. If it's a Chick-fil-A, then that's what it is. But I want 50. I want a nugget with the 50 written in it somewhere, just subtly on the Bucks jersey.
Yes,
yeah. Just have like a nugget outline.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that you wanted the jersey to look like a nugget.
No, I just thought like how like they do subtle details like on the back of the neck or somewhere
above
on a jersey, like above the jersey tag, just have like the shape of a nugget with a 50 inside it.
Yeah,
it's such an iconic performance. It's that finals game was incredible. I remember I thankfully had the day off and was able to watch it live.
It was the best closeout game maybe of all time.
Yeah, and Giannis already as a jersey is just like an iconic kick to collect anyway. So it'd be dope to have like buy a Giannis kit with a nugget somewhere on there with a 50 written inside of it. Just
that would
be and NBA is like the one league that does fun stuff like that. Really, that could get away with it as a subtle detail. I want that. So it's like it's just kind of stupid when I thought of it originally, but I was actually like the more I thought it was like actually
stupid with this. Like in future.
Oh, I almost said a crying Jimmy Lake on a Washington kit, but I digress.
They would never do that. Not do that. Okay, here's just going back to the last segment, a loss. I don't like the kits that Phoenix wear anymore. They have cool colors. They could use so much better.
Yeah, I just saw your article you sent through to me while we were.
Chris Paul.
It was Nuggets either way.
It was Nuggets. I wish he would have went to McDonald's. I like McDonald's way more than Chick-fil-A for a lot of reasons.
I guess he didn't go there on a Sunday, so.
Yeah, he's lucky it wasn't the finals game on a Saturday night. But Chris Paul, the Phoenix uniforms, they could be so much better. And Chris Paul just fucking he's gonna say he didn't mean to do it, but he's such a master of the dark arts. He just whipped a ball like he was tipping it out of bounds off of a Maverick player's face.
Oh, Jesus.
And he got a technical for it. But that's one of my losses as a kid this week because Phoenix could have way better uniforms. And they're not terrible, but they could just be better.
What are they wearing right now?
Just white and Suns and block lettering.
Yeah.
Whereas the Charles Barkley era Suns uniforms are some of the coolest ever. And then even before that,
sun. Yeah.
The Shooting Sun was so 90s, which is cool. But even before that, they used to have the old Western script and said Phoenix across the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are really cool too. And purple and orange is a really cool color combination, but they want to add all this gray into it, which the Steve Nash era Suns liked. And I was just get gray out of here, purple and orange. Roll with it. Secondary colors, baby.
Yep. You had to really hit it. You got to do the Coach Beard as secondary colors, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I'm slowly becoming Coach Beard, and I have definitely lived a lot of nights his solo episode in this past season. And we will do kits.
We have definitely been there for sure.
AFC Richmond's kit does not rank high for me on fictional kits, but
yeah,
it does look traditional though. I'll give them that.
Yeah. It's got a good lower league vibe to it, which I guess is what they're going for in that show.
They're top tier. Well, I don't want to spoil any. I guess I just did.
Yeah.
If you're listening this deep into this podcast and you haven't seen all of Ted Lasso, good God.
Yeah.
How did you?
Yeah. You could have watched 3 episodes of that fucking show while you listened to us. So thank you. But what are you doing?
Great.
All right. I guess that's a good note to finish on. I think we were gonna wrap this one up.
Have segments, though. It's good.
Yes. Yes.
We're being organized for the first time in our podcast career after 7 years.
Yeah, our lives themselves may not be very organized, but our podcast is, which is dope.
If you saw right before the break, if you saw my life, that's how organized I am. So again, it wasn't my fault, but I feel responsible.
Yeah. All right. Oh, cheers, Shay. Appreciate it. We'll once I stop recording, we're going to keep watching the Blazers game and hope these City Kids can get over the line. But for now, the podcast, we're leaving you and we'll catch you next week. So cheers, Shay. As per usual, I still don't have an outro. So all I'm going to say is Jersey Boy's out and I'm going to finish this beer.
Great third episode.
Episode 4. Count it.
These go down easy.